industry highlighted down here is fashion. Diane von Furstenberg, CEO and founder of the Diane von Furstenberg Studio, well, she took the stage today in a session Staying Ahead of the Curve. I caught up with her to really talk about what role fashion actually plays in rebooting America.
First of all, it's a big industry, so it's a lot of work. It employs a lot of people, so that's very important. And also it has to do with the way, with our appearance. It has to do with the way we project ourselves. It has to do with the way, so to some degree it has to do with our dignity and with optimism. So it is important.
Do you think policies coming out of the administration, I ask this because you talk to some small business folks, large business folks, and they say, we're so uncertain about what's going to come out of Washington that we're afraid to make any major decisions in our business.
No.
Has that impacted you at all?
No, I trust the administration.
You do?
I do.
Where do you find that trust? Like, what gives you that confidence?
I like Obama, and I think he's intelligent. And I think that, you know, it's very difficult to be out there, and it's very difficult to make things happen, and there are so many rules and so many things. But that's precisely why we are in a democracy. But I like our president, and I wish him to succeed.
I want to talk a little bit about fashion, the fashion industry generally. It's a competitive industry. How do you stay ahead of the competition in your view?
Well, first of all, you never think about your competition too much.
You never do?
Not very much. I mean, you do a little bit, but you think about, I believe that you have to think about, you have to be honest about what you do. You have to believe in what you do. You have to always want to do the best and worry about that. If you do the best, and if your product makes sense in terms of quality versus value and all of that, then you will succeed. So I think the most important thing is not, because, you know, yes, you look a little bit of your competition because you share the same real estate, and to some degree, obviously, they compete with you. But you can't blame, I believe that you don't blame anything to anybody else but yourself. And therefore, you do the best you can.
I'd love to ask you about kind of the trends in terms of the demand out there for your product, because, you know, the economy, it's still somewhat uncertain. It's definitely better than it was a year ago, definitely better than it was a couple years ago. But I'm curious, the demand that you're seeing, what does it tell you about kind of the health of the consumer out there? Are they out there shopping? Is there strong demand?
No, yes.
There is?
Yes, there is. I mean, we are doing well. But I think one of the reasons is because we're working very hard at what we give. And we give people something that will last and is nice and fits all the need that the woman has.
Have you felt any kind of pressures because of, you know, pressures on companies to cut costs in what is somewhat an uncertain economy? Have you had to do anything to kind of change how you do business, to kind of adapt to the economy?
Well, I think you always have to prune. I believe in pruning, always. You always have to clean the pipes and prune. So you always have to, you know, watch your cost and watch, you know, obviously.
But do you have to do it more so?
But I also don't ever operate with fear. So you have to believe in what you do it the best you can, be cautious, but no fear.
So based on what you're seeing in your business, the outlook for the next 6 to 12 months, how would you describe things?
The outlook is fine.
All right, everybody, that was Diane von Furstenberg, one of the panelists at this year's Innovator Summit, I should say, Reboot America.